you're going to lose weight quicker on the 1500 calories of pure junk, of pure shit. Hello there, eat, move, lift, enjoy gang. Eat your food, move your body, lift your weight, enjoy your life. We're going to call this one the Monday Muse. First port of call, I was chatting online to another nutrition coach and personal trainer, Harry Smith. Shout out to Harry. Harry Smith Health? Harry Smith _health. We were discussing clients or people who we meet that think they're in a calorie deficit, but they're not actually in a calorie deficit. So people who think they're dieting or think they're eating less, and they might be eating less, but they're still not losing weight, and the reasons for this. And I'm going to tackle this one from a few angles. So from the client's point of view, or from the person who's trying to lose the weight, this is incredibly frustrating, right? So you're tweaking the diet, you're improving food quality, maybe you are counting calories or you're using FitnessPal, and you put your weight in and it says you need to eat 1400 calories or 1200 calories, and you stick to that and nothing happens. Now I'm just going to run through, I haven't planned this, but I'm just going to run through a list of reasons why you might not be losing weight. First and foremost, lack of patience. So sometimes people will say, I've changed my diet and I'm not losing. And I'll say, how long have you been doing it for? And it's literally 3 days or 4 days or a week or even a couple of weeks. I think if you're looking for something that's sustainable, you're looking for a long-term approach, I would give it a minimum of 2 weeks and ideally 4 weeks to see to see how your body's responding and to make tweaks off the back of that. So if for 2 weeks you've lost nothing or you've started to gain, chances are you're going to need to change something. But over the course of 3 or 4 days, water fluctuations, time of the month, whether you're inflamed after training sessions, all that kind of stuff, it can just have so much of an effect in the short term that you need to give it a bit of breathing space to see what's happening. Another reason you might not be losing is simply that you're eating more than you realise. So we're all guilty of this to a certain extent, but some more than others. And unless you are weighing and tracking your food, it's incredibly difficult to go by estimation or, I think I'm eating 1500. Like if I had a pound for every time someone said to me, I'm only eating 1500 calories, and they're, 2 stone, 3 stone overweight, you are not eating 1500 calories. Certainly not in the broader sense of the term. You might eat 1500 calories one day, but let's say the weekend you're eating 3000 or 3.5 or 4, the average is not 1500. And that's quite a tough thing to hear, but people do need to hear it. Maybe someone is weighing out all their food, or they are tracking it and they are eating 1500 calories, like genuinely, and they're not losing weight. Maybe you have to go lower. And that again, it's not, I don't want to have to tell someone that. That's not an easy conversation to have. But if I have someone who maybe this tends to be people who have got like the last stone or the last half a stone to lose, they might have to go low, especially smaller females that have got desk-based jobs. That's a tough one because your body doesn't necessarily want to be lean to the point where you see your abs or you've got really defined quads. Your body's quite happy with its body fat as it is at the moment. So when you start getting down into those realms, hunger signals go up, lethargy goes up, you don't want to train, motivation goes down, and the diet becomes difficult. But that might be, again, another reason why someone might plateau at 1500 calories and they have to go lower. And then you have that decision as an individual, or speak with your coach or your trainer. Is it worth going to 1300 calories, 1200 calories to get that last half a stone off? Because increasingly, from my point of view as a coach, I kind of advise people not to do that, because I think the benefits of it are outweighed by the negatives, or just the sheer amount of effort, not even necessarily negative, but just the amount of effort to keep on track. Other reasons people might not be losing weight: water weight. Again, for women, this is more relevant in terms of time of the month and holding on to more water. It is a real thing that happens. So if you are going by the scales, which again, if someone's tracking weight, they're going to be using the scales, you have to bear that in mind. So you genuinely could be eating 1,200 calories a day for a week or even 2 weeks and see very little happen on the scales. And if you're being honest with yourself and you know you're doing that, this is one of those times where it's have faith in the process, have faith in what you're doing, because it will come, but it's going to be like a delayed response to it. And I see this more with people that train frequently and train hard, so their muscles are in like a perpetual state of recovery and soreness. So if you have a big session, you wake up the next day and your legs are absolutely killing you, well, and they feel puffy, they might even look particularly good. That probably is because there's a lot of repair going on within the muscle tissue. So you might again need a couple of days to see the actual drop on the scales, if that's what you're going for. Another reason people struggle is the belief that cleaner foods or better quality foods equal weight loss, when that's not true at all. So just to give you an example, let's say you're eating a diet of absolute junk, absolute rubbish, but you'll bang on 1,500 calories of junk, versus a diet where you're eating 2,000 calories and it is the cleanest food, it is organic, it's grass-fed, it's all those other buzzwords that don't really mean anything. You're going to lose weight quicker on the 1,500 calories of pure junk, of pure shit. And this is because in terms of weight loss, losing body fat, the calorie deficit, i.e. calorie total, trumps the quality of the food. Quantity trumps quality in this instance. So people get wrapped up in grass-fed, organic, best quality food, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but in the context of weight loss and fat loss, and a lot of the people that I work with, it shouldn't be the focus. If the primary goal is to lose weight, the primary focus should be on food quantity. Improving the diet as a whole and trying to improve your food quality over time, great, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just kind of knowing where to focus your energy and focus your effort and attention. Harry asked me another question. We were talking about our experiences working with clients and how difficult it can be when you have someone in front of you who is essentially saying, I am only eating 1,200 calories, or I am only eating 1,500 calories, and there may be stones overweight. And you know as a coach that, I don't want to say they're lying, but they're misinformed. So some people, you will get people who lie. Like I've had people that will lie to me. I don't take that personally, because actually the reason why someone might not tell me the truth is because they feel bad that they've had the ice cream or the Twix or the curry. So they want to please me, so they're going to put down a perfect food diary. And over time, hopefully you build up a bit of trust and rapport, and that doesn't happen. So people lie, that's like an intentional lie, but it's to save face. They're not trying to pull the wool over my eyes to deceive me. They just feel bad about it. But it's the unintentional, or it's the not knowing. It is so difficult because someone will sit in front of you and they wholeheartedly believe that they're only eating 1,200 calories, and they genuinely think they're only eating that, but research has shown time and time again that humans are not very good at recalling what they've eaten. Even those that are aware they're being monitored and, as part of an experiment, it's kind of analysed this phenomenon of people not reporting their food correctly. They're still way off. They are way off. Most people are underestimating by, I think the studies show like 40%. But even if you're one of the better people and say you only misreported by 25%, or you're 25% off, if you're a small individual who's trying to lose that last half a stone, misreporting by 25% or overeating 25% is huge. Like, you will not lose weight doing that. So it is, as a coach, it's more of an art than a science at that point. And again, something that me and Harry were chatting about, how we know as coaches that creating a calorie deficit, however we do it, will work. So whether we have that person fasting, eating 8 meals a day, eating a vegetarian diet, eating a carnivore diet, eating a ketogenic diet, doing carb cycling, whatever method we choose, as long as we have that person in a calorie deficit, they will lose weight, right? So at that point, it doesn't become, oh my God, how are we going to create this calorie deficit? Or how can we lose weight? Oh, it's such a mystery. We know how to do that. Get the person eating less. But how you structure it from client to client, that is an art, and that is something that, a good coach, which I know Harry is, and hopefully I am, you sit down with a client and you work out what will be best for them. If someone has got very little time and they're massively stressed and they can't really eat on the go at work because they're just like back-to-back meetings all day, then do you want to give that person a meal plan that has them eating 8 times a day? Probably not. And if you said to them, right, we're going to have a breakfast that takes 5 minutes to prepare so you can eat that on the train, then we know you're going to be banged out in meetings all morning, but we've got protein in that breakfast shake that we've made up, so that's going to see you through till lunch. You're going to have a big lunch because you've got that 45 minutes at your desk that you've got designated. So we're actually going to prepare a meal the night before for that, so you're going to take in exactly what you need there. So you're not going to have to, the only time you have to think about food at work and eating at work is that one meal a day. As long as you nail that, the rest of the day, don't even think about it. Worry about it when you get home and making a good dinner. And the flip side, if you get people that enjoy snacking, maybe they don't really like eating big meals and feeling really bulked out. So actually maybe they do prefer like that every couple of hours, they have a couple of 100 calories. So maybe they don't even have what you necessarily consider a lunch. They just have a little snack, mid-morning snack at lunchtime, snack in the afternoon, snack in the car on the way home, and then have a big dinner. There's nothing wrong with that either. And it has to be client specific. It has to be individualized, because that, as a coach, that's where you can actually make the difference and tell people, do you know what, you can eat as many times as you like a day, or you can just eat one big meal if you want a day. All these options are open to you. If we can fill them with foods that you enjoy eating and foods that are convenient, if we can get like a meal frequency down with foods that you enjoy and make sure you're not nutrient deficient and get you in the deficit, happy days, you'll succeed, and life will be a lot easier than if you stick to something completely rigid that's got no wiggle room, or you set yourself up for a diet that doesn't fit your diary, doesn't fit your lifestyle, doesn't fit your food preferences, that ultimately, even if you succeed in the short term, doesn't give you the long-term benefits. Oh, I really rambled on there, didn't I? If you've got any questions about this and about how to set up your diet and how to go about it, stick them in the box below, because I think people do struggle on an individual basis. And even though I use this phrase a lot, but losing weight, it's simple but it's not easy. Like a calorie deficit in principle is simple, but how you construct that in an actual day and an actual diet, that's not necessarily easy. And especially if someone's got a bunch of food behaviours and relationship with food and stressful job and life to think about, it's not necessarily the easiest thing in the world. So hopefully as coaches, we can help with that. Cool. Any questions, stick them in the box below. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take it easy. Bye-bye.